Okay everybody, welcome back to the channel. Quick video tip today on the Kapex miter saw from Festool. If you don't have the saw and you're in the market looking to buy this, you may deter from buying it for the fact that a lot of people tell you that you can't cut tall baseboards in the standing position like this, where it is super easy to make your miter cuts because a lot of the 12-inch saws, they have a higher capacity to cut tall baseboards standing up. Because of the motor here, what happens is if you're in the 45 position here on this side, and you can see that this is, baseboard is almost 5 inches tall. So if you put that there, and you go to make your cut, what happens is, you see how the motor, how it protrudes there, and it's actually hitting the baseboard, so you can't complete that cut. Well, there's a trick that I'm going to show you of what this miter saw can do to combat that. Otherwise, what you would have to do, and which I don't like to do because it wastes a lot of time when you're actually doing baseboard and trying to get done fast, taking these fences off and having to bevel the saw back and forth all the time, it's a time waster. And it's also a little bit inaccurate too, because you have to keep making the cuts just to creep up on your line, because when you do it on the bevel, it's very hard with the laser to line everything up. So I'm going to show you real quick now how to set this into a certain position so that you can cut this tall baseboard without having to bevel the saw, and you can just swing it 45 to each side or 22.5 depending on the angle you're cutting. Okay, so I'm trying to get you in on the best angle that I can here on this side of the saw. Then when I make the cuts, I'm going to bring you to the other side so that you can see how the motor in that position will actually be able to cut this tall baseboard. So all you have to do is pull your miter saw forward, just like that. Slide it forward. If you look back here, there's a little green tab, and that brings out this metal tab right here. So what you do is you pull this down, just like that, all the way, and then you slide the Kapex back into that position until it clicks in. And then what that does is now it actually brings out the sliding saw and makes it into a full-on chop saw. So it gives you a greater depth of cut. So you can see that even when you're on an angle on a tall baseboard, you can actually complete this cut without hitting the motor at all, because it's going to swing in this way and cut. But there's one other thing that a lot of people don't do, and they say that this is a problem, is this dust shroud right here. And what happens is if you make a line and you need to cut on that line, if you have this dust shroud in the way, when you go to make that cut, you can't see, and it hangs up on there. Well, what you can do is, a lot of people don't realize, you can just take it and you can flip it out of the way. You can take it off completely. I don't recommend doing that. What I do recommend is just taking it and flipping it backwards, just like that. And once you get it in that position, it stays there. So you're still going to get some dust collection. You're not going to get full dust collection, obviously, because you're not exposing the full shroud, but you're going to have some behind the blade there. So now let's get back to the other side, and I'll show you how we can actually make a 45-degree cut with this in the standing position. Okay, so now we have it in that forward position. So now let's make a cut. Okay, so I have a piece of this scrap baseboard right here that I'm going to show you how I need to cut this. So let's say I need to swing it to a 45 to make an inside corner for the baseboard going around the room. You'll just pay attention to this area right here, because this is the part of the motor around the arbor of the blade that would hit the baseboard and not allow you to complete that cut. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see how this position here, now the saw doesn't slide in this position, but I'm going to show you how this position allows you now, where the blade will swing right through and make that cut all the way. So you can see just how well that works. No burn marks, nothing. So if you get a good blade on there also, that's going to help. But you got your inside corner. You could also do your outside corners in the same way. Swing it to the other side, and you would do an outside corner, and it would be the same. Actually, this would be another good way for me to show you just how out of the way that cut actually is, because now you'll be able to see this piece right here. I hope that you learn something here. If you didn't know about this already, because a lot of people ask me, I get questions all the time. They say, how do you cut your baseboard, a tall baseboard, in the standing position? Because mine always hits the side of the motor and I can't make my inside and outside corners. I have to lay it down flat and I have to keep lifting this tab in the back and beveling the saw. I have to remove the fences. You don't have to do any of that. Just go ahead and put it in this position. And now to take it out of that position, all you have to do is push down this green tab right here, and that will unlock it for you so that you can pull it forward, and this automatically springs back into place, and now you're right back to your original position, and you have now also a sliding compound miter saw again, and you don't have to worry about being locked into that one position. So you have options with this. So just in case that you were on the fence about buying this saw because you heard that you can't cut tall moldings, well, that kind of turns it into a 12-inch chop saw. So if you need to cut baseboards and you are looking at this, it will do the job. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me in the shop today. Hit the picture of a notification bell, and I will also link the tools in the description box. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.